Hello! First of all, I hope you had nice holidays and I wish you all the best in the upcoming year. Well, I have another model here. This one was also built for the Romanian competition. The rules declare that we had to build a pickup that uses this type of wheels, which are 62.4 millimeters, the typical truck ones, and this is what I came up with. I decided to build a Hummer EV, and I found a 3D file online, and calculating by the size of the wheels, I calculated the whole truck to be in 1:14 scale. So this is a very accurate representation of the Hummer EV, and I'm just gonna go quickly over the functions and show you how it works in real life. So first of all, 1:14, we have very robust design. You can grab it by the roof, you can grab it by the rear tailgate. It is very robust, so it will not easily fall apart. As I mentioned, it's very accurate. And when it comes to functions, first we have all-wheel drive and all-wheel steering. So you can see that the rear wheels also steer a little in the opposite direction, which improves, of course, handling, because it is a big model and any kind of improvement in steering system is actually a good thing. So, drive and steering, what else? Well, we can also open all the doors, the tailgate, and of course the bonnet. Now, because this is an electric vehicle, there isn't a typical engine in the front, but instead I put the BuWizz 3.0 here. It is at the side. Originally I planned it to have it like upside down, but it is placed at the side because the cables were a bit short, because I'm using two powered up L motors, which are hidden right here, which are driving the 16-tooth gear and the differentials. And I'm using L motors because they are a bit smaller than the powered up L motors, and they are much more efficient and more robust. The powered up L motors kind of die much more quickly compared to the power functions. The difference is internal motor design. The power function ones is brushed, brushings for the commutators, and the powered up L motors don't use any carbon brushes and so on. So anyway, I'm using powered up L motor for the steering and power functions L motors for the drive. We're using two motors. That was the limitation in the rules. They're driving this 22 gear to 16 and then the 20 to the 28 differential. So this gives us a nice balance of torque and speed. It just has enough torque to spin the wheels when it's blocked, but it still has quite a nice acceleration at top speed. As mentioned before, powered up L motor, which is hidden under this panel, is steering all the wheels, and I'm using different steering ratios to get the different steering angles. The front wheels are still around 20 degrees and the rear ones around, I don't know, around 10 degrees or so. One thing to also mention is that I have independent suspension on all four wheels, and I use the combination of 5-studded suspension arm on the bottom and a 6-studded suspension arm on the top, and using the let's say new-ish 5-studded CV joint axles which came in the Ford GT. I'm also using a bit of a rare no longer used parts for the hubs, and for the steering links I'm using the old 3-studded hubs here, which allowed me to basically have a steering system, the steering axle on the front and the rear, so it's duplicated, which increases the stiffness of the steering system, so it's much more stiff. That's the problem with this model to replicate, let's say, because I'm using this no longer produced parts. So if anyone wants to make this one, well, I recommend using third-party options in that case. So, drive and steering, suspension, opening doors, opening bonnet, opening tailgate, and of course a very detailed interior. The steering wheel, of course, also turns and can be adjusted with the steering system. And the seats, I chose red color to contrast the model, and they are very detailed. So you have proper seats, proper console, and then you have a real nice big bench in the back, which is at an angle, and because of the way I managed to get all the electronics very tight and hidden inside, the interior is really like proper interior. There is almost no motors, no gears, no nothing sticking out, and I'm really happy how that turned out. It's very realistic and spacious. And thanks to the use of the flip-flop bins, lots of panels and frames, the model is very sturdy, so it doesn't fall apart that easily. Another thing worth mentioning is I'm using the ellipse panels in there in the back. They really gave me the nice solution to make this nice curve in the back, and a bit of details made with studded bricks up here just to get the edge around the bed, and I don't know, this bulge on the hood. So this is how the model looks like, and now I'm gonna show you how it performs first outdoor testing and then at the Rolug competition.
Wow! What's the time? Go!
You want to use the turbo speed?
Come on! Turbo!
Come on.
Yeah. Stop.
31.
Let's try again. This was too fast.
So as you've seen, the model performed very well both outdoor and in the Rolug competition. One thing worth mentioning is that I actually made a mistake when building this model. I didn't check the rules very well, or good enough, let's say, and I used the BuWizz for driving all the electronic components where I should have been using a powered up or power functions battery box. So in order to be like in sake of sportsmanship, I reduced the power on my BuWizz using the power curves, and to compensate for the lack of torque, I did a quick differential swap. So basically I swapped the usual differential with this red one, which increased my gearing and gave me enough torque to go over the track. So that's also another thing you can do if you want to modify this car, if you want to replicate it. You can change the gear ratios either here at the motors, or I would actually recommend more at the differentials, because if you put a bigger gear here, it is gonna get chewed up and damaged and pull grass and all things much more likely than if you use a smaller one here. You can already see that this one is kind of green because of the grass that the model pulled in. So that is one of the, let's say, weak points. If there was a way I could like hide this gearing mechanism without losing ground clearance, I would have. But other than that, I think it is a really nice model. I really like how it came out, and as usual I will of course be sharing the LDD file with you. And if you want to see more of stuff like this, then please remember to subscribe and like, and yeah, and that's about it for now. I have more models planned in the future. And what can I say? Have a good one and thank you for watching. Bye bye.